tell tell me and everybody that's watching here what you've been up to since graduation, man.
Well, after graduation, I got my first job at Charter Communications, and I learned a lot in the job, but I don't know if it was the right job for me. Um, Unfortunately, they laid me off after 6 months, and I really didn't figure it out, like if it was the right gig for me.
Yeah,
But
it's
um,
not really that long a time.
uh, the job was more of like a paper pusher kind of deal. Linux was involved, but like um I'm certainly not doing anything close to like what I'm doing at this gig.
Okay.
And what I do now is I work for a university. It's a science and technology college, and I work on a supercomputer.
Oh, right on.
I basically keep it running through hardware and Linux. So it is a lot of work, but I am learning so much more in this position than I did at the corporate place.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? As I was thinking as you came on, you look a lot more professorial, now that you're in that academic realm. I'm just wait. You need the tweed jacket, I think, with the elbow patches and everything. But
So yeah, that's another thing that's kind of like an adaptation. So like at the business place, I was like very casual. I had to wear like slacks and like collared shirts and like nice shoes. Had my appearance like looking great. Here it's kind of relaxed. It's
pretty laid back.
like if I wanted to wear shorts, I could.
Nice, nice. Well, so tell me a little bit about, like your day to day right now. I mean, it sounds like you've got like you're really plugged in to what's going on with the systems there and everything.
Um, yes and no. So I've been here for 2 months. It's not enough time to really know any real work that's going on here. So my day to day right now is learning as much as I can about how this particular system runs. Yes, it's Linux, but Slurm is a completely new topic to me, and I knew nothing about, so I had to do some research there. I also have a killer test environment that I have built from scratch since day one. So basically, I have like a homework assignment, if you will. For like 3 months, I've been building my own test supercomputer. And if anybody's not familiar with the topic, it's my general consensus of how this runs is like the professors and like the smart people, if you will, at the university conduct their research on the computer. So they have to have special programs and software to achieve those things. They don't necessarily know how to put it into a computer, but they know how to at least run the technology that they need to, solve a complex algorithm, or do a bunch of research all at once using a computer that's like not your average desktop. So
Yeah, I would imagine this thing's like greasy lightning fast, and
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is just crazy. So like all that's the other part of this job that I really, really like is I'm working with hardware. Um, Before this job, I've never even seen a computer like room. So like a server room and like, the cabinet that has like 25, 30 servers in it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Here, let me show you something.
Yeah. Okay.
So like I'm constantly pulling out like these bad boys and swapping out hardware into them. I've already done it like 3 or 4 times. I mean, like nothing crazy big. Like I'm not doing like a motherboard, but
Right.
I'm swapping
Yeah.
out like components of the computer, and
Okay.
it's crazy to me.
Wow.
Like,
Well, how much time do you spend on the command line these days?
a lot.
Okay,
A lot.
so that's the majority of where you're at then.
I'd probably say like 70% of this
Okay,
job
cool.
is Linux.
Well,
Command
you know
line.
what, man? It's one thing that's so cool. I mean, I remember when you got laid off and everything, and nobody likes to get laid off, and it always sucks. Like in your case, the funding ran out, or companies downsize and whatnot. And it's there's a lot of talk right now about how there's all these tech layoffs and everything, and I think what people don't necessarily realize is there's layoffs everywhere, and this kind of stuff happens, and I don't care what industry you're in. But you rebounded nicely, man. And I truly believe in a lot of if my spiritual being believes that everything happens for a reason. And obviously this happened to you. You rebounded, you got right back on the horse, and now here you are, like expanding way beyond anything you thought you would be doing when you were a student at Yellowtail.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the difference between the two jobs I've had is just like night and day. And in reality, I mean, like if I would have stuck with that corporate job, I probably would have had a nice like cush deal for like 5 years from now. I would have been like in like a higher tier role there, and I still wouldn't have known the complete circle, which would have drove me crazy. Here I'm doing it all.
And you know what,
that's awesome.
And that's cool, man, because like you sound like me, is like I've got an itchy brain. I want to keep learning new things, and I want to keep being challenged by different things. And all the money in the world doesn't make up for a job that you don't feel challenged, or that you're bored with, or you're not realizing your true potential and everything. And now that you're doing this kind of stuff, and again, I know you haven't been doing it for a real long time, but has it started you thinking about the future any differently, like where you want to go? Or is it right now just still like deer in the headlights, all this stuff coming at you?
A little bit, because like I mean, like how my mind works is like what I'm gonna do in like 5 years or whatever. So like you always want them goals, and now that I'm in like a whole nother spot, I'm like researching like what kind of skills does an HPC person kind of offer to the table of tech. And I mean it's just a different world. It's different.
Well, I guess there's so many different angles that you can go now too. I mean, I always say there's no such thing, or how do I put it? The one thing you can never overindulge in is knowledge. It's like, if you're going to be addicted to anything, be addicted to knowledge. Because there's just, especially in the tech world, there's just so many different branches and avenues that you can travel down.
Yeah, So like I would say like the number one thing is like starting a new job. The advantage of it is seeing how far you can go with the job. So like when you get hired into one of these positions, like in my situation, like I'm on the bottom, but I definitely can see like, you know, a path that I can take. Like
Nice.
there's like 4 or 5 different jobs here that I've never even heard of, kind of thing. It's kind of surreal, like starting a new job on the bottom. It's like you automatically have a 1,000-foot view from, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the
How big
start.
is your team?
So for what we do, there's only 3 admins.
Okay.
Um, but in our particular situation, we are a college of 4 colleges. So they also have another data center in another school that's like further north. I live in Missouri, so they're all kind of like relatively close, but the 2 biggest players is the college that I work at, which is SAT,
Okay.
and the other college that we kind of manage because they are newer people up there is Mizzou.
Gotcha. Has it been, you know, a lot of people are doing remote work, and obviously it looks like, you know, you're sitting in your office now and everything. Do you feel like you've really gotten a good advantage being right there on premise as far as, you know, being able to interact with the other people that have been there longer? And, you know, are they supportive? Are do you feel like you're gaining a lot more knowledge just being around them?
So yeah, they're supportive, but they're also very busy.
Yeah.
So like a lot of my work is kind of similar to the internship. Like I'm setting up, like, yeah, I have like a set of rules that I'm trying to accomplish. It's like tasks that I've never heard of, and you know, your first step is obviously you have to like Google it and like do some research on the topic, because it's like a whole, it's almost like a whole nother kind of, you know, task.
Yeah.
So like one of the things, I think I mentioned it earlier, was Slurm. Like I knew nothing about Slurm. I kind of had to do my research and like see how I can configure like a Slurm controller and, you know, manage Slurm nodes, which is not an easy task.
Oh, come on,
But
man. There's Slurm nodes. Everybody knows about Slurm nodes.
you know, like you just kind of take it one bite at a time. It's like that big elephant.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How do you eat an elephant, man? One bite at a time. Well, dude, man, it sounds like, you know, that practice that you got in the apprenticeship of all the research that you did has paid off then.
Yeah, yeah. It probably would have been easier to jump in 6 months ago when I actually had like Linux fresh in my mind.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what though, man, it's like you know, and they say that if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, you got to kind of keep it active. But you know, from what I know of you, man, you worked hard, so you have that those foundations and those principles embedded in your head, and it maybe takes a little time for you to remember certain commands, or you might have to go and look things up again just because you're a little rusty. But you know, that's just a temporary thing. And once you pile all the new stuff on top of that, man, it sounds like you know, dude, do you have time for your family, man? How's the kids baseball and everything, man?
Actually, actually do, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I mean, like this job takes a lot of my time, like on like actual traditional Monday through Friday, but I
Yeah,
mean, I have the weekends off and stuff like that, so I try to have a little bit of fun,
yeah, good for
have
you,
that
man.
balance.
Yeah, I think that's super important too, making sure that, I mean, we all love what we do, but, we all love our families as well. So it's nice to know that you can, um, find good careers in tech that will give you both, you know. So before I let you go, man, one question that I love asking, is there anything that you know now that you wish you knew when you were a student?
Oh man, I mean, like, I don't know if that's a comparable question now, because like once you are in like one of these roles, it's like everything is on steroids. Yes, on like the principles kind of thing. I really wish I would have paid more attention to uh, variables and paths, but I mean, there's only so much you can
Yeah.
kind of consume in that class.
And
It's
hindsight is
like
2020, right?
yeah, I mean, when you're going through the class, you don't really have like a direction of where you're going. So
Yeah, right,
I
right.
don't really know what's important and what is
Yeah.
not less important, I guess. But until you actually assume that role that you're in. So
From your perspective, is my last question, man. From your perspective, how do you what's your view on the future of tech and where it's heading and what comes next? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think AI is going to be pretty big. I think there's probably going to be some more technologies out there that
Give me 1 minute.
solve problems faster. Technology's crazy. It's always advancing. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see
yeah,
if the technology that I'm in now changes 5 years from now. I guess that's the best way to answer that question.
yeah, right, right. Any final words of wisdom or inspiration you'd like to offer?
Well, I mean, like I said it before, I mean, anything's possible with doing the yellowtail program. I mean, as long as you keep, a consistent schedule, I mean, you can do it. I didn't have any like computer knowledge before this, so just keep trucking away and
Yeah, things have changed a lot for you in the last year, huh?
yeah, you will know some stuff in the end, I promise.